Live.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the AMC Live Cast. This is Mike, the Scale Model Outlaw, and right below me is none other than
Jason from Klein Race Car Designs, and our great producer that's up in the upper corner there is...
I'm Bruce from Bruce's Eclectic World, and greetings, everyone. It's amazing when you press the go button how fast the chat lights up.
It does light up fast, does it not? Chat's full tonight, too. We got Donnie, Sam, Chuck, Tiff, Chet's in here.
Mars.
Some guy named KRD, Klein Race Car Design. Bruce, we need to ban that guy.
I know. He's a pain sometimes.
Right?
Me.
Joshua was in here. We got a whole room full of people. Mike's Mods and Customs. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon or late afternoon to those of you on the west side of the world. And
Happy's
if you're here else, happy times. Happy times. That Fred? Sweet. So what is going on, y'all? It's been a minute since, it's been close to a week since I've seen everybody. How's everything going?
Pretty good. Just pounding away. Me and Bruce have been pounding away on USAC darts yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of USAC dart stuff, did you guys see the post that Matt made about got about 2 more weeks? If you get this done, you can send it in to Scott at Automotive, and you may or may not end up in the magazine.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
I won't be done in 2 weeks anyway, so
I mean,
I won't make it.
It'll probably be done because I need it done in 2 weeks for the model show I'm going to. So I'm thinking this weekend's going to be a huge turning point for it. So, I mean, it's drying now. It's painted. So we've got paint that didn't chemical pop on me. So we're good.
And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks good. So
it's red.
It's fucking red. That red don't like me. That red don't like me. I'm telling you.
I'll leave the red to Pappy. He seems to be pretty good at that Pappy damn red.
Yeah. If I want red, I'm going to send it to Pappy.
Right?
Yeah. So now what I'm working on, and that's what I'm designing more parts for, is this guy, this puller truck.
Oh, cool.
So
sweet. And if I saw the body lines right, it's an old Dodge truck.
It would be correct. Model? Yep. D100.
D100. Billy Strange is in the house. What's up, Billy? Mars?
What's going on, everybody? Mike's Mods and Customs.
Living the dream. Living the dream. Well, I too been working on my
there you go,
USAC build, but again, it won't be done by the 2 weeks. But I'm hoping to have it ready by Acme.
Yeah, I should have it done in a couple of weeks, but I'll probably first picture I'll send of it will probably go to Fred, since Fred shared a picture of his before the due date with me. Right. I got to get that red approved by Pappy. So.
Right. That's awesome.
I gotta wait. I'm waiting on decals.
Well, I definitely. Man. I don't know if I should thank you or say dang you, Jason. I saw your video about all the discounted Hobby Lobby kits, so I found myself yesterday afternoon down at Hobby Lobby. I didn't get near as many as you did, but I picked up a bunch from Hobby Lobby, and I found, I think we talked about them once before, the shortcut paints from Krylon.
I was there yesterday too.
I know. I found out about that after I left. I'm like, dang it, that wasn't on his list. I gotta go back now.
Yeah, Bruce messaged me yesterday sometime in the morning. He's like, I just scored some Novas. I'm like, I'm going to get some Novas, and that truck was there.
What are they asking for it?
$11.
Oh,
$11.
Bought every one they had for $11.
Yeah, I did.
Both
I
of them.
Yep.
Dang, I gotta now. I know I gotta go back. I gotta leave work early tomorrow, and I'll go back. Be my luck though; they'll be all gone.
I spent my Acme money.
I
still got time to make more.
If any luck, you'll be able to put it back in the meantime. I passed on the Bronco, but I got the Nova. I got the. What else did I get? I got the 66 Chevelle. I got the Camaro.
Did yours have the Buick on sale? Because like Bruce's didn't have the Buick on sale.
Yep, I got the Buick.
On sale
I got the Buick and the 67 Camaro, the 66, and the Nova. That's the 4 that I got.
Okay. Did yours have the 66 Ford Fairlane on sale?
No, the white one. They usually carry it. I think they probably sold it out. Which I already have that one, but of course I paid the 40% off price. I didn't pay the sticker price, but I didn't get it for $8. Dang
I took the GSXs back up to the counter again yesterday morning.
Yeah.
That store marked down for on sale. I go, okay, you still keep these. We'll try later.
Yeah, I like I said, when I seen them on clearance, they had the orange sticker. I'm like, that can't be right. So I just threw them all in the cart. And the wife was like, what the hell are you doing? I go, they're on clearance. She goes, oh my God, they're on clearance.
Gotta have it. They're on clearance.
I said, you're going to have to get another cart because
I'm loading this one up.
Hey, better behave. The boss is in here.
I was going to say, the walking boss is in here now.
Oh, yeah. That's my
had I known that those trucks were on sale, I'd have bought every one they had. I love that truck. That's one of my favorite models of all time.
The truck must have did that Monday, because last Friday when I was there, the truck was not on sale. So it wasn't until yesterday when Bruce sent me that message in the morning, and I'm like, all right, I'm going after work. And I went after work, and it was on sale. So,
heck yeah.
So,
we can turn that into any kind of race car hauler. I'm sorry, Bruce, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We still got people popping in. We got Leon and
Leon,
Chris, Big Sky, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Welcome everybody.
There's my buddy Big Joe.
Yeah. I like what you said in your video. You're the bandit.
Bandit.
Yeah. We have banter back and forth.
But I also picked up a couple cans of those short shot Krylon paints. You know, everybody, and like I said on the video,
they look like the testers, yeah.
Yeah, they look like testers paint.
Probably pretty similar tip and everything in them.
I would think so. I mean, like I said in the video, everybody has their own thing. They do their own thing, and more power to them. I'm not a fan. I mean, let me rewind. I'm not able to make the big cans work the way I want them to work with that tip. Yep. So I'm hoping I'm going to do a test, and I'm hoping that maybe the smaller cans, because there's nothing wrong with the paint. It's all about the applicator, whether it be the nozzle or the guy behind the nozzle. So the paint's not bad. So we'll see what happens. I'll try it in that little one, and maybe I'll have some luck. And they're only like $3.99 a can, and that's before the 40% off.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty affordable, really. I mean, the other thing with buying the big cans is like if you really got to love the color, because I mean you could do a lot of models with one can. So
I got 10 cars, Chevrolets, Dodges, and Fords, but they're all Ford blue because I got one can of Ford blue.
Get my money's worth out of that, baby.
Right. Well, the biggest one I got, I bought 3 cans, but I'm really interested to see how the flat black works.
Right.
because at $3.99, if it does a good job, then that's now that I'm using the Molotov refill for chrome. You lay that flat black down first and spray it with that Molotov, and it really comes out nice. So right
is that stuff enamel or lacquer?
I believe it's enamel. You know what? I got asked that question twice, and I didn't look, but I'm pretty positive it's enamel. Propane.
I did get a whole bunch of Createx paint too. They had it all marked down at half price or a little less.
Yeah.
Give me just a second. Let me read this thing, and I'll let you know. Y'all hold down the show a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, down. Okay. I'm
I'm
working on it.
How many bottles of Createx did you buy, Bruce?
About 15.
Woo!
Or 18.
Nice.
I got the Candios that I kept looking at, kept putting back because they're $9 a bottle. So I got those at half price for $4. And then I got some of my favorites. Because since they're clearing them out, I'm assuming they're discontinuing that version of that Wicked Blue, and they're coming out with something different.
I don't know if it's just that, or we just want to get the shelf life of it out of there to get
that
a
could
fresh
be
batch in there.
Because that rack's always full.
The other thing I scored is they're clearing out all the Iwata packages.
I seen that.
So I got some more of those little airbrush quick disconnects.
They didn't have any there. I looked.
Yeah. But all the needles, all the nozzles, the tips, everything was all clearance on the Iwata parts. So, which is cool. I mean, especially if you got an Iwata brush. I don't have any.
I see Gallery's got their GHD 39 on sale.
Do they? I still love that brush for how cheap and inexpensive that thing is. That brush works really good.
Just watched some Barbados Rex right before we started, and they got it on sale for $27.
Wow, that's a good price.
Plus, you got a discount coupon, so it makes it even cheaper.
Yeah, that's a really good price.
And I use mine all the time for a lot of the interior work and stuff.
Yep.
That and a 0.3. Of course, when I do the bodies, I use the bigger guns, but I have used the 39 with the 5.0 needle in it, or 0.5 needle in it, and sprayed bodies with it. It's a great little brush for what it is. I mean,
no, I like it. I love mine. It works really well, so I can't complain. And I do the same thing you do, Bruce. I use it for a lot of parts. Chassis, interior tubs, transmissions,
Well, when I want to do the fine stuff, like for around the seats and stuff, then I'll use the 0.3.
Yep. I did do you and Mark, Grandpa Mark, were the ones that were talking about the Mobius with the 0.202 needle in there. How you could just paint a line right across your parts, and it's like, wow. So I did that with roll bars. So
I just painted the engine for the 53 Ford Victoria. I use the turquoise green, which I know it's Chrysler green, but I don't care.
Yeah.
But that year car had a turquoise green because I checked. Okay. And I painted transmission silver, and I used that 0.2 needle. And you can't, I don't have to do any touch up on it between the bell housing and the engine.
And even if you did have to do some touch up, it's going to be minor,
minor. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit overspray on the top. Yeah. But you're not going to see that anyway on the top of the bell housing.
Well, and the first thing that came to my mind, I've done this before on one of my Chargers, because the factory, when they painted the cars, they just kind of painted, and the overspray that went under. This way here with that brush, you could fade in that overspray really nice if you're trying to do like a factory restoration build. Pretty cool.
I have done a couple of chassis like that. When I was painting the body, I just picked up the chassis, just kind of went right across there, just a little light fog on it.
Yeah, my one Charger has like primer down the middle, just the way the factory left those cars too. So
that's neat.
Yeah,
never thought of doing that.
Yeah, that's because they didn't get the paint all the way up underneath there. They got it in the wheel wells in the front because of the frame subs, but then they just kind of went right down the chassis pans, and then the inner tunnel was all kind of mist and primer. So
cool.
Terry Wilson's in here.
Hey, Terry.
What's up, Terry?
Oh, and Norm. I was glad to see the other night Norm was back to building again. So,
hey, Scale Speed Garage just popped in. What's up?
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Chris. That reminds me, we need to do something. We usually do at the beginning of the show.
What was that?
We have not done that awesome beef footage for shout outs.
Let's do it. Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, there's our buddy Frank. There goes the neighborhood.
Yep, Frankie's here.
There goes the neighborhood.
Okay, so let me pull the there it is.
Let's do our.
He had an extra screen. It's got everything scooshed around. So I don't know who's first. Whoever that is.
Fine, that's my right there, Mr. Terry Wilson. Man after my own heart. Loves his Pro Street, loves his drag and drive style cars. Love the detail that he puts in his builds. So if you haven't already, go over there and check out Terry Wilson. Tell him the AMC show sent you. Me and Terry have messaged back and forth a little bit here and there through the Facebook Messenger. Great guy, really great guy. So go over there and check him out, everybody.
And let's see, next. There we go.
That would be me. So Jimmy over at Kitbash Customs. Jimmy's a great guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but he's from Sweden, I believe. And he's in the Coast to Coast group, and he's big on the old 40s and 50s customs cars. So if you're not subbed to Jimmy, go over there and give him a big old thumbs up and tell him that the AMC Live sent him. Great guy. He comes in on the Coast to Coast group a bunch, and when he can, I know his hours are crazy. He's actually been in here. I think it's like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning when we're doing this, but it's always good to see Jimmy. Jimmy's a great guy, man. Y'all go check him out. If you haven't given him a sub yet, give him a big old thumbs up from us.
He does some awesome detail painting on.
Oh yeah,
on figures. I mean, it doesn't make any difference, if it's the toy ones or whatever. He repainted some of them, so I watched a couple of his videos last. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
well, he's kind of like our buddy Mars. He likes to dabble on a little bit of everything.
And mine is our other buddy Jimmy at Jimmy's Chop Shop, the Rust-Oleum King, as I like to call him. But I watched his video on how he painted with the Rust-Oleum, and he does an awesome job. A lot of people don't like it. Some people do. I use a little bit of everything, so I don't see problems with it. But yeah, he's doing good. I think his name change probably helped him out a little bit. So anyway, they haven't given them all these awesome people we picked today. Like, share, subscribe. Please go over and do so, because they are just a bunch of awesome people.
Amen.
Yeah, love what Jimmy's doing over there. It's good to see the young generation playing with model cars and then also hanging around with the veteran guys and learning the tips and the tricks. So
I actually saw him building a Mopar the other day, so I was super proud of him. He put them Chevrolets down and was working on a Mopar, so I was proud of him.
Yeah, he said that to me the other night when I popped in the chat. He's like, "Oh, is that Jason from KRD? Oh, you'll be proud of me." He goes, "And I'm not putting an LS in it either." He goes, "I'm putting the paper motor."
That's awesome.
That is
awesome. Tim had a live stream today. He's down at the truck show in St. Louis, I mean, Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
And Jimmy was in there. He was all excited because he showed a couple semis slammed to the ground. He was just drooling all over those things. To me, it looked like they all had flat tires.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of beautiful trucks down there. So
that's cool. You're talking about throttle power, Tim, correct?
Yeah, throttle power, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to start
in my head.
We got to start numbering the Tims because we got a Tim in the chat.
Right.
We've got Tim Klinkwitz that usually pops in there too. So we got to start numbering our Tims.
And they went through that with Terry's here a few years back. Had a bunch of Terry's going on. Had a number of them guys.
Hey Bob, how's it going? Oh, Chet's in here too. I must have missed Chet's comments. So
I didn't. Greetings, Chet. I didn't miss you too.
TJ, how's it going? What's everybody in the chat working on tonight? You guys just watching us be boneheads, or you guys actually working and watching us be boneheads?
You got your choice. We're boneheads either way.
Right. There's one constant in there. There's definitely one constant. I know I saw you guys Saturday on the JR Salvino's live. They got some cool stuff coming out. We had those guys on a couple weeks ago. They got some really cool stuff coming out. That got to see a little bit of that multimedia kit they were talking about. That thing's not going to be cheap, but damn, that thing looks good.
Yeah, I mean, that thing, man, I'm gonna wait and see what the price is, but I agree. I'm really looking forward to seeing the what the kit consists of. I mean, it's going to be a really cool build.
From what I understand, what's up, Leon? From what I understand, it's going to be in the $200 range, which is not
believe
cheap.
It. I mean, with all the different medias they're doing, I get it.
Yeah.
Billy, be safe while you're driving and texting.
Yeah, don't be driving, Billy.
You silly goofball.
Something about
Chris, I'll be with you on that as soon as the show is over, because I've been getting up at 3 a.m. and leaving by 4 every day. So I'm with you on that, getting ready for an early morning thing.
Sam, I know your question was to Norm, but I hope to have my USAC dart done by Pam's Con, but I also have to check again and see when the dates are for Pam's Con. That's that is the next show I'm going to. I'm just not sure what the date is.
I was just going to ask you what the dates were.
I know I'm going because it's close. That's the only reason I know I'm going.
That's great to hear, Chuck. Zombie build 65 Ford Falcon. That's cool.
That reminds me, I still got to finish my pickup truck.
Yep.
I'm with you, Red. That Jim Clark car is going to be sweet, but it's not going to be cheap. It's not.
Yep.
But with the work that Jim Rogers has put into literally making it's jewelry, the motor pieces and all that is literally jewelry.
So if you guys haven't watched that, check it out. It's 9 a.m. my time, anyhow, Central Standard Time. The JR Salvino show, really good show. You got Jim, Rick, and Matt Luca on there. They go over all the designs and things that are coming down the pipeline, especially if you're a Kid of the Month member. I'm a new Kid of the Month member, so very excited to be a part of that, and it's going to be cool to get a little JR stash going here. So, but very informative show on Saturday mornings. Very informative.
Yes, I love that show every Saturday.
Especially if you're into any kind of American roundy round racing or IndyCar racing. Rick is a fountain of information, and he does not mind sharing it. He is a fountain of information.
Yeah,
Mr. Frank, I know you went to a show this past weekend and ran into a mutual friend. Frank, I don't know what show it was. Frank could tell me, but Frank and Rob from Insanity were hanging out. Now, can you imagine those two guys in the same room?
Oh no, no.
Yep, they were together.
Sorry to hear that, Mike's Mods and Customs. I hope you get some better luck with that build.
Prying them out of the box. That's pretty hard.
Right. I can relate, Mike. Mine's the same way. My pacer still, he's like glued himself into the box. He doesn't want to come out. He's scared. Replicon, is that what it said? Replicon, Frank? That's where you guys were? That's what it said if I'm pronouncing it right. But I talked to Riv and he was like, I hung out with your friend Frank. I'm like, oh boy, must have raised the roof on that building.
K. Nelson, I use regular automotive spot putty for my models, and it's all from U-Pole brand. So it's just a spot putty is all I use on my stuff. I have used the Bondo brand as well, but I like the U-Pole a little bit better than the Bondo brand. So the U-Pole too is also in a kind of a beigeish color versus the Bondo brand is red. It usually with the Bondo brand, you might see if you're doing like a white primer coat because of a bright color, then you got to put a few more coats of primer on there to take that tint of red out of there. But yeah, Mikey's got a bottle there. So that's what Mikey's got is a bigger bottle, and they do offer it in a smaller tube as well. So you can get that, in a smaller tube.
Sorry. I like it because it's two-part. It's got the hardener that goes with it, but the Dolphin glaze, no pinholes. It does. U-Pole is like Jason was saying, is made for full-size cars, custom cars, and this is real thin, so it gets in there. You don't have a bunch of buildup that you got to sand off. I mean, you still got some you got to sand off. It's still a Bondo, if you will, but it's not like I used to use the old red 3M, which it. The green 3M works. No, the green 3M works well too. Especially for like big holes. If you did some body work and you got a big hole you got to fill in, that stuff works good for that. But I always skim it with that dolphin skin because it just smooths right out. It's really nice. But there's all kinds of stuff out there that works.
Where'd you get that at, Mike?
I bought this at my local paint and supply store. The 3M green you can get at probably any of your auto parts stores, but the U-Pole dolphin skin I got at my local automotive paint and supply store. We're fortunate enough to have one here. That's also where I get my sanding discs. I get the where they house this word Trizac sanding discs. I get those from there. It's not cheap. It's not the cheapest thing you can get, but it works really well. Both the U-Pole and the sandpaper work very well. The sandpaper, you can rinse it and reuse it again. That's the 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. I'm sorry, 3,000, 5,000, and 8,000. So only use it, for the clear coat and the last final touches on it. You can use any 80 grit from anywhere and have good luck with it. But when you're hogging stuff out, you don't need the high dollar stuff. But this works really, really well for the finishing, for your finish sanding, I guess, for lack of better terms. That's what I use it for, is finish sanding.
Yeah. And same thing, like Fred said, the glazing, the 3M glazing putty is really good product too. The Evercoat stuff, I've used that as well on 1-to-1. I have never used Evercoat on models, but the main reason why a lot of us are doing this too is because Mikey's got a perfect story of why you go to an automotive trade. And we'll let Mikey tell the story.
Tell that story, Mikey.
So if you guys have been following along or been back in my library, about middle of the summer last year, I was building a Volkswagen, and I had a wide body kit on it from Black Box, and I got the wide body kit on there and got it looking good, and I spent some time on it. It was my first wide body kit, so I took my time with it and got it laid out pretty decent, and got everything where the tires fit up on, mocked it up, and it really, really looked good. I was very happy with it. So I took the old, what is it, Tamiya, the white putty stuff, this stuff here, and I filled all my cracks in and all my body lines in with the Tamiya white putty, sanded it smooth, and man, it looked awesome. It really did. I laid down my primer, looked great. Laid down my paint. Now the paint, it wasn't the paint's fault. It was my fault, but I screwed up the paint. So I'm like, dang, got to put it in the old purple pond and soak that paint off and start all over again. But I'm thinking, nah, no worries. The paint will come off. We'll clean it up. We'll be good to go. So I dropped the Volkswagen body into the purple pond and came back a couple days later. Paint's gone. Everything looks great except for one problem. Every bit of the bodywork was gone. All that water-based putty was gone. It ate it away, right? So I had to do all the bodywork all over again, and that's what motivated me to look into what do I got to use to where that don't happen to me again. You do all that time with the raw body and do the body work and get it all, you screw up the paint. You don't want to have to do the body work again if you don't have to. So that's why I highly recommend any automotive stuff, especially that dolphin skin, because it's 2 parts, got a hardener in it. It won't go away when you drop it in the purple pond. Purple pond's not gonna hurt your body work. It'll get your paint off, but it will not hurt your body work.
And especially with that project you were doing where you put a wide body kit on there, there was a lot of hours invested in that body work.
Lots.
A lot of hours.
I probably had 60, 70 hours just
finish,
I probably had 60 hours, every bit of 60 hours in the sanding and cleaning and, getting it right and making sure that they were matched on both sides. All the things that we do when we're mocking these things up. Now, fortunately, I used super glue to attach the wide body kit so that it didn't come off of the car, but all the gaps that had to be filled, which inevitably you're going to have them. I don't care how good the wide body kit is, you're going to have some gaps in there. And I wanted it to look like it was, from the factory that way. I didn't want to look like bolt-on fenders, right? So I had puttied it up pretty good, and yeah, it all went away. It all went bye-bye when it went to the purple pond.
Our buddy Jimmy, the leadhead's in here. What's going on, my friend?
What's up,
I hope you're doing well.
Good to see you.
Well. Yep.
Hey guys, guess what time it is?
It is time to run that beautiful footage.
It sure enough is. So we're gonna run it right now.
Pee break, guys. Time to take a pee break.
Pee break.
Pee break.
Sweet. I love that commercial. The way Chris's commercial starts out real slow and then it picks up real quick with the music and that car doing the donut. I think that's really, really cool. So you guys saw the commercial, man. If you want to get some awesome 3D printed parts, go check out Josh at VCG Resins. And the same way for all you guys that have 3D printers, be sure and check out Scale Speed Garage. Chris is offering some great deals over there. And be sure and use the AMC Live 10 discount. That's AMC Live 10. Gets you a 10% discount at both of those great supporters. We appreciate those guys. Well, awesome sponsors, man. I think that when we had Chris on here, I wouldn't swear to it because I haven't checked. If I'm being completely honest, I'm slacking on my research.
Than that, yeah.
I think that Universal Pro Street tub or chassis is out. I wouldn't swear to that. If Chris is still in here, maybe he can tell us. But I think Josh is printing that thing, and from what I understand, he can go from as small as a Volkswagen all the way up to a full size truck. That is on my wish list.
Yep. For sure. No, it's cool. I've printed the standard version that will fit the Nova, and it fits pretty good. So it's going to be really cool. And it's got a nice firewall. It's got the front roll bars going down to the subframe. Really nice front suspension. It's definitely going to fix a lot of having to buy Nova kits or Chevelle kits. Same thing with there's a couple of the other 3D printer guys are also offering more back half kits now. You're seeing a lot more back half front clip kits and all that stuff. So
now Josh has got one out now too. The back half.
Yeah, is he? Okay.
Yeah, because Joe did his video on it.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that. Yep.
Yeah, so he's got the front half and the back half now. Just need to put something in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris just said in the chat that it's available to the membership for downloading.
Awesome.
Big badass Pro Chargers today. Sweet, Chris. Sweet. But so you guys have been using them files, printing them out? I know that Chris is
that one. The part 2 version, I haven't been able to get in there to check that one out yet. That's the one that's going to have all the separate clips, meaning the different center sections and all that. So I'll have to look this weekend. Right now, I've been playing with pulling truck parts. I want to get this puller printed so that I can start printing the tractor next. So
nice.
Yeah, I have not. My motherboard on my Windows 10 machine went south. So, yeah, no 3D printing for a while. That's okay.
Not that I'm buying a 3D printer anytime soon, but I know we were talking about this, and Bruce, I was getting your advice behind the scenes back there, but it sounds like the dumb old redneck from Florida is finally going to break down and buy him a P-Uter. I've never owned a computer, but it looks like I'm going to break down and buy one. Maybe not a PC. Bruce was showing me that you can do a lot with the laptop, and that might be something that I go with, but I'm going to have to break down. I'm doing everything on this Apple phone right now, and when I'm doing my editing, is I feel like I'm 200 years old, right? I got to get up real close to it and be looking at it. So I think a bigger screen would be very helpful.
You got to wear your headset.
Right. Right. It's not like I don't wear that thing enough. But we were talking earlier about what we're building. On Sundays we got that little deal that me and Jason Hanscom are doing, but I've been working on this 71. I'm dirt poor, right? I'm working on a 68 and a 71. So I got the paint laid down on the 71, getting excited about it.
That one's a little too pretty for a circle track.
I know it, because this is some of that. This is that Scale Finishes paint, man, and it's Petty Blue, and it laid down it just laid down so good right over the Mr. Surfacer white primer. It laid down really good. I have not buffed this. I have not sanded this. I've not done anything to it other than stick it in the Easy Bake Oven for 10 hours and then letting it air dry out here. And it actually got dust on the top of it. It's been sitting so long, but.
Is that got clear on it, or is it just the paint?
Nothing. That's just paint. That's right out of the bottle onto the model, man.
That's awesome.
I've laid down a lot of his stuff, more than some, not as much as others. But if I'm going to tell the complete truth, that color laid down just as pretty as you please. I mean, not his other colors are great, but I put this one high up on the spectrum because it really did lay down super, super nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. It looks really good. I've used his primers and stuff now, and I love those things. I can't get enough of them, to be honest with you. So They sand really good. You can block sand them nice. I mean, it's really good product. Too many variables, okay. Fit the chassis.
Here's the question he's answering.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for.
Some 3D printers will offer engines and exhausts that would fit the kit chassis.
And some of it too is the files, depending on where you're getting the files from. I will say this with the scale speed garage stuff, they're very accurate to being 1/25th scale. Where if you go on Cults, there's a good possibility you're going to have to resize those files before you print them. Yep. So a lot of the eBay parts that you buy off eBay that are really cheap, they can be quite out of scale. So this is something to be noticed for. But the big problem is really, and me and Mikey have talked about this many, many times, is exhaust. Headers and exhaust. And it's so hard for these designers to make stuff that fits a Mopar chassis, a Ford chassis, and all that without putting a custom, front end underneath it to clear what exhaust is available.
I do a bunch of chopping.
Yeah, bunch of chopping.
Yeah, I've run across that with my little Nova wagon.
Yeah.
You can get some that, usually, and I'm being stereotypical here or putting a rule of thumb on a big spectrum, but typically, if you're going with a factory type motor and a factory type car, you probably will have less modifications. Of course, it depends on the kit, and there's a lot of variables that go into that. But when you take something like this twin turbo that I'm using, and it's got the exhaust dumps out in front of the motor, which is inevitably is going to be in front of the wheels on this Dart. You're going to have to make some modifications. There's just no way around it. It would be, and I know that Josh for one and Matthew, they offer standalone headers that you can buy that maybe you can modify, or sometimes you can get some out of the old junkyard. Literally was hanging out with Tom last Saturday, old Tom Rambler 69, and he was showing me a deal, and I won't give away what he was working on, but he was showing me a deal where he was having trouble with the exhaust. So he had a friend print up the exhaust that he wanted, and then he took it out of his junkyard. He took the flanges, or the flange plate, I should say, off of another kit, put it in, and cut the flanges off of his 3D printed headers, and took these other flanges and put them on there, and it made it work. So sometimes you do have to get creative, and I think Frank nailed it on the head when he said there's just too many variables. There's just so you build a Ford Cobra or a Ford 429, it could go in a 32 Model A or 32 whatever. It could go in a 71 Cyclone, or it could go in a 32 Model A. You just never really know.
Yeah.
Mark over at 007 Super New 007 has got an excellent video on how to make solder headers. So there is that option.
Yeah, Mr. Mark Batson's got some really great tutorial videos on some scratch building techniques. So I recommend that too. Go check it out. I mean, it might not be everybody's cup of tea to spend that much time on it, but if you ever question it, at least the video is out there for you to see what it does. So
yeah, Mark has them, and Fred Henry actually has a tutorial on them as well. So
on the headers.
On the headers, how to make it out of solder. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. I haven't
watched that either. Yeah. I didn't know Jason, Fred had a tutorial on that.
Yeah, he does. You remember, cool. Jason, that way back when you printed me up some kind of like a MagnaFlow. I'm looking for words here, but that MagnaFlow all-in-one with the bends all in it.
Yeah.
And I've used it quite a bit. Yeah, because you can cut a U in half and get you a 45 or a 90 or whatever. I do a lot of that too, so that definitely works. But the solder thing for headers, the tubes that you sent me is more for exhaust itself than it is really for headers.
Yeah, I've made headers out of styrene rod and warmed it up with a heat gun, and I rather just make them out of solder or brass tubing at this point.
It's a lot easier. A lot easier.
Night, Chris.
And if you get Night, Chris. And if you get the solid, you get the solid tube compared to the tube, then it'll bend without kinking.
Yeah.
I ran into that with tube. You go to bend it, even with a good bender, you try to put too much of a bend on it and it'll kink and distort and whatever. So if you get the solid tube, you don't have to worry about that. It's a little harder to bend sometimes, but the end result is worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Fred, I'll have to go in your playlist. The last thing I seen, I think, of Fred's as far as tutorials was the chopping the roof on the street rod. So.
Yep, and I've got to go back and watch that. I've got it in my saved list because I'm the coast to coast, as you guys know. The coast to coast group build is that 32 3-window, and I'm gonna because Drag City Customs used to make a beautiful 3-window chop top ready to go resin body, but I reached out to him, and he's not making them anymore, and he's not sure if he's ever gonna make any more. So I think those things have become unobtainium, and if you do find one, I'm sure it'll be way more than what you want to pay for it. So it's time to give Pappy's Tutorials a check out because I want to chop it. I got the Iceman frame and that big supercharged Godzilla motor that I want to put in this thing, so should be some work.
Cool.
Then
yeah, I got one of them I got to build too, but I just haven't figured out what I want to do with it yet. I don't know that I want to go super crazy with it. Maybe just something nice and old school.
Right. And Don, you're not wrong. You can slide a piece of smaller tube that just fits inside of it and keep it from kinking. But the problem is, if you do a 90, you got to get it back out, and that's the hard part. I mean, you can leave it in there, but I mean, you got to
leave it in there.
Yeah, you can leave it in there, but it can be a pain in the butt too. But I guess everybody has their own way of going. No matter how you skin a cat, the cat's still skinned at the end of the day, right?
Night, Fred.
Oh, is Fred leaving? Night, Fred.
Night, Fred.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I got your email.
Or Donnie said ninth, Fred, so I'm assuming he's leaving.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
Fred's the early to bed, early to rise guy, right? That's that time in the Navy. He gets to be 8, 9 o'clock. He's ready to hit the hay and wake up in the morning and be out there before the chickens.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow night, Fred.
See you tomorrow night, Fred. Looking forward to it, buddy.
Hey, Sluggo.
Federico.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Chuck says he's got one of those Drag City casting Chop 32 Ford 3-window bodies left. So.
Nice. Hang on to it. It's going to be unobtainium for too long. Sorry, guys. I'm eating my peanut M&Ms for a snack.
That's all right. I'm eating my liquid snack. It's been a hard week, so
it's only Thursday.
It's only Thursday. Right? Just wait till tomorrow.
Where are you working, Steve?
Tomorrow we'll have the Jack Daniels out. So.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'll be joining you.
Hey, it's celebration after Tuesday's victory on the paint job. So,
amen, brother. I told you, I'll sit here with you. You go ahead and open that door. I'll hold your hand.
I was scared to open that door.
He sat there staring at it for the longest time. Go ahead, rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Chad, I didn't bring enough for everyone, but I brought enough for you, bud. Reach your hand in the bag. Get you some. Oh, dang. Well, leave me some. Dang it, Chad. You took them all. You only left me one.
Oh, that's a good question, Mars. Highlight that one there. Here's a question for you all. What is the kit you hate? Even though you hate it, you build it anyways. That's a good one. I guess for me, that would be the Country Charger. That kit is miserable, but it's a 69 Charger. So
40 Ford Showboat.
I don't think I built that kit before.
Yeah, that thing's a flash
cool
city. You have to recarve the whole intake and the carburetors.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
I've never built that kit, but I've seen it. It's a cool looking kit. I have no idea how it builds up.
Once you get all the carving done.
Some carving required. Does it say you need these certain wood carving tools to finish?
Right?
It should. I did that.
For me,
I followed along with James Tester. He built that car for a show, and he did a series on it, and I did the same thing. Yeah. It was fun.
For
to
me,
do.
it's a little
I got another one.
Go ahead, Mikey.
For me, it's a little broader spectrum. I love the monogram NASCAR kits. I love them. They're easy peasy. They're fun. I've built a million of them, but they're a lot of work, man. They're a lot of work to get it to where it's going to look decent, right? Because there's not a lot going on with it, but at the same time, they're just old molds, lots of flash, lots of seam lines. Every roll bar in it has 2 seam lines, one at the top, one at the bottom. And if you want to do it right, you got to sand all that off. But they're just fun little kits, man. But you're right. They're a pain in the butt. AMT ain't much better, but monograms are way worse.
And those kits you're talking about, the hobby shop that has the slot car track in the cities, they cleared them out dirt cheap to all us slot car guys, and they're made great bodies for the slot cars because, like you said, they were just miserable. All the people that were building them as models were complaining to the store owners about them. And you're right. I think the molds were just way overdue, Yep. There's Tim.
What's up, Mr. Tim Kalinkowitz?
And Chet, I agree. It's the only way you're going to do the General Lee these days. But I've had a couple of those country chargers, and everything is warped and twisted and doesn't fit crap. And the flashing on them is really, really bad on them too. So they can be built. Anything can be built. I'm sure if Chuck was in here from Scale Mod Podcast, he'd tell you the GTO, and a lot of people bash that GTO to pieces. And I've never built that GTO yet. But
hey, Bruce, you see what Chris from Scale Speed Garage threw up? There you go. All right, I know the answer to that one. I know the answer. It's only been one from me. What about you guys? You have one that you had to throw in the trash can?
No, I've never done that. I've probably got one in a box somewhere if I can find the box. But go for it, Mikey.
For me, if you remember back, and I wish Lucas C was here because he could probably, or Rick, they could probably tell me the exact dates. But Revell came out with this line called the Saints. It was a Saint. There was a Camaro. There's a couple different ones, but the one that I had was the Henry J. If you guys remember the box art.
Yep. I remember that.
That thing was unnecessarily over-engineered pieces and parts that just, you had to build the doors and the interior, the door panels, and it wasn't like they clicked in. There was like 6 pieces to build a door. It was ridiculously over-engineered. That's the only one that I've ever. And before I went all Hulk on it, before I freaking threw it in the trash, I threw it down on the table. Yeah, I went full Hulk on that one.
So it's funny you mentioned that particular kit because that correlates to the one that I have thrown in the box, and that is that Street Demons 41 Willies that you got to do the same thing as build all the little door hinges and stuff. And the chassis is just warped like a potato chip, and like nothing was sitting right. And I just said, so it's definitely going to be one of my zombie builds, but I think it's going to get a 3D printed chassis and motor.
Was that Ruffles?
Yeah, Rick hit the nail on the head. He said the tilt nose, and he's right. The tilt nose on that Henry J is 5 pieces all by itself. Just the nose.
Yep.
The headers were horrible. I mean, or at least they were for me. They got this big cone on them at the end of it. It didn't want to fit right. And it was, of course, I built it back when it was a new kit. So it probably had a lot to do with my inability to build it, which would probably still relate today for that matter.
I have that. I got that kit, I think, downstairs. And then didn't they also re-release it to where it's got more like a cartoon drawing?
Yes. The newer one. And I don't think it's near as detailed. I think it's Lindbergh. Maybe not Lindbergh, but one of those, smaller companies re-released it, and I think it's a much better kit now. Henry J. Header straight to the burn pile. You're right, Tim. Them things were wretched. They were wretched. But it seemed though, and I've talked to, and I've never built any of the other Saint series. There was a whole series of them. They had like, I'd have to Google it, but there's like 5 or 6.
I think there was a 50. Wasn't there a 57 Chevy or a 55 Chevy too on that? And then
that
I think there was a 54 panel truck.
Could very well be. Don says that Atlantis has the Henry J molds now.
Okay.
But they're just
the Charger or the 68 Charger photo etch, combine it with any Revell 69 Charger. Fireball has the brush guard and the Vector. Huh, that's good to know.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to watch the show so I remember all it was.
Well, and when it comes to the Chargers too, Frank loves the Chargers. He loves his Porsches.
Yeah.
He's you just have to remind Frank that, one of his Porsches is not a roller skate that he can ride around his house on.
Oh.
That's all he's got. He went off Godzilla.
He had 5.
Yeah. I think he started out with 6 though, because one of them ended up being a roller skate.
Oh, okay. That's right. I forgot.
What a glutton for punishment to build 6 at one time, though.
Really?
Right?
What was he thinking?
I don't know.
Wow.
Klein says, "Have you really built a model if you haven't set it on fire?"
We launched a few of them with firecrackers back in the day.
Oh yeah, we did all the time when we was kids.
Yeah. It was really fun when the ones that we had with the metal axles, and you'd put bottle rockets on them and see how far they would go before they go.
Done that.
Yeah.
Tied a string to it and fired the bottle rocket.
Yeah. The first time we did it, we just used regular clear tape on the roof, and then bottle rocket just took off. The model was still sitting there.
But what would you give to have those kits back now in a box, right? Or even as you built them?
Yeah, I'd love to have
man.
I told you last week I went and hung out with old Tom, and he took me through his room in the house, and he's got a garage out back. And he was showing me kits that he built in 1972 when he was 12 years old. He still has those same kits. And he's got one of a dragster, one of the Don Garlich's dragsters. I forget which one it was, but he built it when he was 12, 1972. And then he built it, with his current skills. And he's got them sitting side by side. And I'm here to tell you, he was awesome at 12. He's awesome now, but he was awesome at 12. He was building some really, really cool stuff. There used to be a 63 Corvette, and I remember the kit. Came with the big Night Stalker, maybe was the name of it. Came with big slicks on the back of it.
Corvette.
Had the flip nose hood, and it was molded in black. And he was laughing when he was telling me. He was like, because he painted it yellow, and he was like, I just kept, how yellow doesn't like to cover black. I just kept layering it with my rattle can. And he did, but all the high points, how them vets got that swoosh that goes. But of course, the yellow on the high points wouldn't, so the black shines through. But it looks like black molding. It only did it like around the door handle, around that body trim that would have.
So what you're trying to say? So what you're trying to say is old Tom invented panel liner.
Yeah, but he used the black plastic that was already in the kit. It looks like he traded out all the chrome for black because it was where that yellow wouldn't cover it up. And I'm like, dude, he was like, you know why I display it with the hood up? I'm like, no. He said, you ever built that kit? I said, no. He said, that hood does not fit on that car. So display it with the hood up. I was like, okay.
If you think about it, so there's another kit that I really want to get that's re-released, and that's that 53 Ford with the flip nose, that Ford pickup.
Yeah.
That was a kit that I built too. But you think back to, that timeline, that 80s, there were so many kits with flip noses.
Yeah,
so many kits with flip noses back then.
Want to cut in for just a second and say goodnight to Chris at Scale Speed Garage and mention him again. You guys go check out Scale Speed Garage and use that
Night,
AMC
Chris.
Live 10 discount. Night, Chris. We appreciate you stopping by, bud.
Hey, you
what
know,
a great guy,
something else we need to roll before we leave.
Yeah, and we're getting close to leaving, so why don't you go ahead? I think I know where you're going. Why don't you roll that beautiful bean footage, Bruce?
Hey, we should host another group build sponsored by the podcast.
Sure, but it needs to be a race car this time.
Yeah, something that can race on asphalt or dirt.
And night and different types of weather. That would be pretty cool.
And can fly.
Wait, what?
What you talking about, BG?
Hey, I got it. Rally cars.
Yes.
What date should we run the build for?
How about January 31st? It can start and go to December 31st. That's a good amount of time.
Sure, I can work with that.
Okay, but I gotta say, I'm a little concerned about the defying gravity thing. I haven't had much luck in that lately.
Join the Scale Model Car Podcast 2025 Rally Cool Rally Car Group Build and build that rally car model kit that's been sitting on your shelf ever since you brought it home from the hobby store and said, I'm gonna build that one day, because now is your chance.
I love that commercial, but it's bittersweet. That's another group build that I haven't started yet. And December 31st will be here before you know it. I can just feel it in my bones.
It's sitting right there.
I'm here to tell you that Jason won't be participating because of he's backed up. I can't do it. I got an Acme build that I really want to get done for Acme. So I gotta, between that and I have a tribute build and the Acme build that are after the Dart, and I gotta do those. So
well, I've got both the Darts, and I got that 32, and I got the rally car one. And somewhere in there, I'd like to squeeze in another Volkswagen. I'd like to take what I learned from the first one, because my paint job wasn't that great on the first one. So I'd like to take what I learned from the first one and build another one, except this time I'm going to use the Tamiya, instead of using the Tamiya 66 Beetle, I'm going to use the Tamiya Carmagia.
oh, there you go.
That'd be pretty cool. They're essentially designed.
No, you're not, Frank. You hate those.
Frank's a glutton for punishment. A glutton.
Good night, Sam.
Night, Sam.
Oh man.
Frank, you're a
well, and the thing is, like,
he is a mess. Love that guy, but he's a mess.
Me and Bruce were talking about how the Scale Model Insanity guys got an Easter build coming up, like their turkey shoot, and so we were discussing it because we want to participate. We had a blast in the chat room, and that's how we met Yerva. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So I think I'm just going to work on the builds that we've got going on now in there.
Me too.
Instead of doing a military or something, I'm just going to work on what we got and enjoy the camaraderie with all the guys,
I'm going to get in on it, but I'm going to build it right out of the box. I got that artillery track vehicle that Sean got for me with the Blind Santa thing at Christmas time, and I'm saving it for that. But of course, that's a double full or a double-edged blade for me, because I want to build that kit so I can learn that kit, because I think there's a lot of other bodies if it can be done. I don't know if it can be done or not. I can't imagine why not, but I think it would look cool, like with a semi body on it or something like that, or maybe like that hideout truck from Hobby Lobby that you just picked up without the race car bed on it, but like a stake bed. Put a stake bed on it, make it like a party wagon or something with tracks. I mean, it'd just be really cool to take something from our side and mix it with something from the armor side and come up with something cool. I mean, Bigfoot did it, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I look back, I was finding some old footage. There's a couple guys on there that I know that are really big into doing research on finding these old pulling trucks. I've been doing research on this thing and how I want to go about building it. But it was amazing to find out how many guys put bodies on tanks for exhibition vehicles in those era of pulling. The Orange Blossom had a train on there. Bigfoot had the van. there was actually a couple vans. There was a couple Chevy Blazers. I mean, there was quite a few of those guys building those tank monster trucks. You know, it's kind of what they were calling them, but really cool to see that. You know,
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Trying to watch them run across about 30 cars.
Yeah, just those tank treads just chew them up too.
Just spit them out.
Yo, Dad, I gotta go potty. You need to take me out right now, Dad.
Yeah,
my baby girl.
We're past our hour anyway, Bruce. We got time to sign off before you take her out, or you want to take her out and we'll wait
Sure.
for you?
We got time to make it fast. I'm Bruce and Bruce's Eclectic World. Thank you.
There it is. Quick as
there it is. No, seriously, thank you each and every one of you for showing up. We've had 48 people in here at one point in time, so thank you. Thank you.
All right.
I'll go next. Thanks everybody for jumping in here tonight. It's just been a really low-key, relaxed evening, just shooting the breeze with the boys. Thanks for everybody coming on here. I'm Jason from Klein Race Car Designs, and I want to say thank you to our awesome producer Bruce, and thanks to my co-host Mikey here. And we'll let Mikey close this thing out.
Agreed. I say it every time because I mean it every time. I echo what both Bruce and Jason said. Thank you, chat, for showing up. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Be sure and tune in next week at the same time, same channel. We'll be back. And in the meantime, be sure to check out me at Scale Model Outlaw. Check out Jason at Klein or KRD and Bruce at Bruce's Eclectic World. Y'all be good at it. Be safe. And as always, keep on modeling. Oh, wait, we forgot something. There's that big old thumbs up. See y'all later.
See ya, everybody.
Bye. Red button push.